Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
Well, welcome in to the Average Joe's Game Day broadcast, whether you're listening on the Frontline YouTube or watching on Flow Hockey. We are in the Powassan Sportsplex here as the Powassan Voodoos host the Soo Thunderbirds, their 3rd meeting of the season so far. The season record is split as both teams have picked up a win. But before we get to tonight's game, last night the Voodoos are coming off a huge 8-goal thrumming of the Elliott Lake Vikings, and let's take a quick look at some of the highlights from that game.
Lemke, up the ice for Smetham. Smetham, cross ice, sits in the back of the net. Caden Dubroy. It's back to Smetham. Smetham trying to get around. He does. It's the Case, and Case scores. Back to Shields. Less than a minute left on the man advantage. Case, near side, good chance, Lemke. What a pass by Zachary Turner. Stays it back behind the net, out front for Smetham. He scores. Reese Smetham on the one-timer from the pass from Smetham behind the net. Lost it, now it's Dawson. Dawson, back to Russo. Russo in tight, Bogo with the save. Back to Rotundo. Rotundo scores! Mason Rotundo with his first career NOJHL goal.
Well, a big night for a lot of the Voodoos in Pleasant, including how about Michael McLean, 1 goal, a couple of points. All the points he's gotten so far in this season. I'm Ben Sargent alongside Ben Long. It's the Ben Squared Show today as we are getting ready for what should be a very good game. If you look at so far, these two teams have played back on the 24th when it was the Voodoos winning in a shootout of a score of 4-3, and then of course the NOJHL showcase, they were up 4-2, Ben, 4-2, and the heartbreaking 5-4 loss. You were there at that time. Tell us a little bit about what we should expect in this game.
So that was a heartbreaking loss. I unfortunately didn't get to see very much of that game. I was broadcasting on the other rink at the time, but Courtney was over broadcasting that game, and he was saying, oh, it was looking good, and the team was looking good, and then all of a sudden there was just kind of Alex Little got hurt in that game, and then it just kind of everything fell apart around that incident, and truly heartbreaking. Now, the Voodoos seem to have recalibrated without Alex Little in the lineup and have had some good games since then, which is good to know that the team doesn't rest on one player despite the fact that he's the captain and a huge offensive driver for this team. Absolutely.
Chase Thompson, Caleb Dawson also not in the lineup for the Voodoos this evening. Voodoos are in really good place. They're in first place right now in the East, 8 points clear of both Hearst and Timmins with 11 respectively after 12 games. And coming in, riding a 4-game win streak, beating Elliott Lake, as we said, 8-1, 8-2 against French River on Wednesday. Right now, goals are not something that the Voodoos have to worry about.
No. Yeah, as you mentioned, 16 goals in the last 2 games here at home. It's been quite a productive time, but we are here. We're heading up to him. We're going to talk about some more of the offensive production that we're getting from one of the players in the last 2 games. F is part of our Mike the Financial Advisor's Players to Watch.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
Well, as you said, Ben, taking a look at the Mike the Financial Advisor Players to Watch. Today we've got both ties to the battalion in a way. We have Reese Smetham for the Voodoos, who of course are an association with the battalion. And on the other side, we have a battalion prospect that did get some action in the preseason in Galavan.
Yeah, he looked really good for the battalion in the games that we saw. In fact, me and you broadcasted one of those games with him playing there. So it's great that we get to see him again here. Unfortunately, he's playing for the other side because he looked quite good on the OHL ice, so I'm sure he'll be strong out there tonight.
Yeah, Declan Galavan, 14 points so far, 4 goals, 10 assists. Not somebody to look at. Smetham on the other side, 10 points, 4 goals, 6 assists. And the last time I was in this building, we saw a Friday night smackdown with the Espanola Paper Kings. It should get heated here as the teams are just getting ready for the national anthem. Super quick, though, before we go. Another person to kind of look at is Cameron Lemke. Another solid week for him, a goal and 5 assists so far in his last 3 games.
Yeah, so Smetham with 3 goals and 2 assists in the last 3. Lemke with a goal and 5 assists. That, they're getting offense by committee here, and they're getting a whole lot of it.
And, of course, the Thunderbirds are another team that's scoring a lot. They just come off a 9-0 win in their previous game. That was against Kirkland Lake. So we definitely should see a lot of goals so far, as both teams are on a bit of a streak in their last 10. The Voodoos are 7-2-0-1. The Thunderbirds 5-2-2-1 as we just get ready for the national anthem. So we're going to throw that first, and on the other side, we'll have puck drop.
We ask you to rise if able, remove your hats, and join Tim Scarrow for the singing of the American and Canadian national anthems. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sails that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. Car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
As we just get ready for puck drop, let's take a look at our starting netminders. In net for the Powassan Voodoos, Dan DeRoccolo, who has been an absolute rock this season. In 8 games, he's 6-1 with a 172 goals against average, a 953 save percentage. On the last podcast, I posed the question to Courtney, who's been better goaltender, Dom DiVincentis or Dan DeRoccolo? It's a tough one to see. And on the other side for the Soo Thunderbirds, speaking of the battalion, a battalion draft pick and former U18 Trappers goalie from a couple years ago, Colton Bourret, who comes in 3 starts, 2-1 with a 202 goals against average, a 935 save percentage. So we talked about a lot of goals being both these teams getting goals in the last few games, but it might be a low scoring game tonight.
Yeah, both these goalies have a record of keeping a lot of goalies out of the net. So with the high-powered offense, but just such steady goaltending. We'll see what comes out in their wash here.
And we get ready for puck drop here as the Powassan Voodoos take on the Soo Thunderbirds. Live on YouTube as the puck is dropped and on Flow Hockey. As the Voodoos try to come out starting right away. Turner with it. Turner and Darby both on the starting line with Tucker Shields. They were both on the Frontline podcast this past week, which you can catch on YouTube or on your favorite podcatcher. Here's a steal from Shields. Tucker Shields with a really good opportunity early on, and he's taken down, but it looks like he trips, and then he goes right into Bure. The puck goes out of play. The net goes off its moorings, and about 24 seconds into the opening frame, we have our first whistle.
Yeah, and it's a good sign. Bure got up right after being run into and just gave him a little tap on the pads as to say, yeah, all good, no harm done.
Yeah.
And, last night we saw some goaltenders not reacting that way to players, so it's good to see the game starting off on a more even keel foot.
100%. There's Cameron Lemke taking the faceoff, but he loses it, and the Thunderbirds are going to try for their first offensive opportunity, but they almost give the puck away in their own zone. That was Evan Roach losing it, and now the Sioux are trying to do it again. Here's Roach at his own corner, and now it gets stolen by Lemke. Lemke, he gets around his man. He's looking for an open shot. The net's off its moorings again, but the referees haven't noticed. Now the puck goes all the way down. Icing is waved off. Bure puts the puck back, the net back on its moorings. Ricci with it behind his own net, now in the Voodoos zone. And now the Voodoos are controlling in their own zone, trying to get it out. They're being pressured here by the Thunderbirds. The puck comes out. Now the Thunderbirds have control. Here's Dundas over to his partner, Roach, but Roach can't handle it, and now it goes out to the neutral zone. Dundas, the assistant captain for the Thunderbirds, brings it up as now here's a shot off, another opportunity on the rebound, as that was 37 Zachary Isaacson. He does not have a name on the back of his jersey, so does not help things out. And now play is stopped as the net is still off its moorings, and the referees decide to blow it down. So minute and a half into this opening period, great opportunity for the Soo Thunderbirds as a rebound opportunity almost went right onto the stick of a Sioux player.
Yeah, fortunately for Dan Narocco with his rebounds, he's usually pretty good at keeping square to it, but that player had a pretty good chance there. I didn't catch who it was that had that shot for the Thunderbirds, but he had a good chance, and fortunately for the Voodoos, that nothing came of it.
So we'll take the face-off at center ice. It goes all the way back to the Voodoos zones. Jaden Sturge plays it out, and now the puck comes out to the neutral zone, and the Voodoos are on the chase for it, but it's won by the Thunderbirds, and they'll try to regain composure and bring it back up the ice. The pass through the center. There's a couple of Soo Thunderbirds here who don't have names on the back of their jerseys, as that was Brady Reel who lost the puck. Now he has it behind his own. No, it's stolen in front, a shot, but it goes right through the crease, and it comes back into the neutral zone. A pass to try to break Dubois free, misses, and back come the Thunderbirds the other way. Now the puck is dumped into the Voodoos zone, and a couple of Voodoos players vying for it, and it's brought up the other way, back by McLean. Puck in the neutral zone. It's stolen by the Thunderbirds. They try to break free, but losing an edge there is Lucas DiBernardino, another name that I was having trouble with that early in pregame. He's an association player, so not somebody who's a regular in the Sioux lineup. As coming back the other way are the Voodoos. They're trying to get something going here themselves. There's a shot on net, and it's kicked aside by Bure. And the Voodoos looking to get some sort of possession here. It's been a lot of back and forth. And now they have it behind the net. Here's a great opportunity there by Smetham, Owen Smetham, the brother of Reese. And now a shot from the point comes in, a rebound shot saved by Bure. He's had to make a couple of nice ones. There's a Rice Little Teak. Shot is blocked. There was a great opportunity there by Russo. Puck comes all the way back down, and here's Alexander Case. He gets it over to Beatty. Beatty gets his pocket picked, and Trushin almost had a breakaway onto Rockalo. And now through the neutral zone, that goes off Beatty's skate and down into the Thunderbird zone. And now it's going to be brought up here by Colby Fellinger. He's the captain of the Thunderbirds. This is going to come down, and it's going to be icing's waved off. And Dundas collects it in the Voodoos zone, as there's a couple of players from both teams fighting for it in the corner. Now the puck comes up from Trushin, and almost a great opportunity for the Thunderbirds again, but they couldn't quite pull the trigger. And now here's Smith. His pass through The slot finds nobody, and back come the other way, come the Voodoos, as this is Zach Turner. Turner talked about his playmaking as he loves to dish it over to McCarthy, who both of them coming from the U.S., played a lot in Montana, and got an opportunity to play some hockey here for Powassan. And as that pass that was intended for a Thunderbirds player goes all the way down to the Voodoos' end for an icing call. 15:46 left to go in the first period.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of play we had there without some whistles there. We had quite a run on guys there. As you mentioned, Superbirds have an affiliate player playing up with them with the deeper.
It's a tongue twister, right?
Berardino. Yeah,
I
had it before the game. But
they don't give us phonetic sayings for anything, so we kind of have to rely on other people who just kind of know. So we try to do our best here. Even the OHL doesn't really give us all that, as now the puck is loose at the side of the net, and fighting for it there was McCarthy, but McCarthy couldn't pull the trigger, and the Thunderbirds are going to try to break away, but a nice play bump from Lemke there to break things up in the neutral zone. Thunderbirds now control it in their own zone. Fellinger brings it over to his partner there, Caden Dundas. Dundas tries to bring it up again, stolen in the neutral zone by the Voodoos, but the Voodoos, that was Zach Turner, couldn't get anything going either. And Case will send it over to Lemke. That was McLean trying to get through. Here's bringing it up the other way is Tucker Shields. Shields gets it over to McCarthy. McCarthy, his pass over to McLean is not good, as he can't quite get a stick on it, and now it's in the Thunderbirds' corner. Now Shields, he ends up getting caught in with the official, and the Thunderbirds again can't quite get their neutral zone game, and it's stolen again by the Voodoos as Shields tries to get it up to Turner. Now McCarthy has it. McCarthy, he's looking for a play to fight. He shoots, and it's stopped by Bourret. Turner is right there trying to jam home the rebound, but Bourret alongside a Thunderbirds player, who I believe that is Zachary Isaacson, end up getting a whistle.
yeah, Bourret was right on that one. He made the save, and I think he wasn't quite expecting the shot, but he got it covered up for a face-off to his glove hand side here.
So far, shots 3-1 in favor of the Voodoos, as they've had the better chances here in the last probably 2 or 3 minutes. Now, Abraham was looking for the pass, and he looked the wrong way. The puck went right by him and went down for an icing goal.
Yeah, and there's some equipment on the ice. Someone lost a neck guard, but
looks like that was Remenda.
Remenda picked it up off the ice and gets it back on his neck, and he's ready to go again.
Remenda is the leading goal scorer for the Thunderbirds. 8 goals this season, 3 assists for a total of 11 points. So somebody to kind of keep in mind, as it's the face-off is won by the Thunderbirds, and now again they just haven't been able to find their game, as another pass through the neutral zone is now going to be beat out by icing. A good play there from Remenda, as he's able to stop the icing from happening, and the Voodoos are looking for a chance. Here's an opportunity. Shot goes wide off the stick of Reith Smith, sorry. As that goes all the way down, another icing call as Jaden Sturge touches up. Again, these names, they're getting Reith Smith.
Another battalion prospect.
Another battalion prospect, yeah.
And we saw him in some preseason games for them, and he looked really good. He's looked really good for the Voodoos here, getting quite a lot of good looks on the net. Hasn't had quite the luck of the puck going the right way for him at all times, but it's going to only matter time before that starts to click.
Well, the Voodoos win the face-off, but it goes out to the neutral zone, and Jaden Sturge collects it over to his partner in crime, and it's dumped into the Thunderbird zone. And now the Voodoos are looking to set up their cycle play, as they've had some time on the offensive zone, but they haven't quite been able to get the shots I think they've been wanting to. As now they're still not able to do it. Good pressure from the Thunderbirds, and now the puck's loose in the neutral zone. Both teams fighting for it, and it's picked up there by DeGagne. Now the Thunderbirds again collecting it, passing it in their own zone as they try to get something going in the neutral zone. All their passes so far have not been good. A lot of steals from the Voodoos as now they bring it up. Stopped at the neutral zone, and there's a great stick there from Jaden Sturge, and now bringing it up the other way is Smetham. Smetham's shot is steered aside by Bourret. And now Hall has it for the Thunderbirds. He sends it up over to Dundas. Dundas starts the break. Now into the Voodoo zone. Here's a pass in front, the shot, and that one does not find its mark. As now another one in front, and can't quite get a handle on it, as that's Now the puck goes out of play. Another couple of good opportunities there from the Thunderbirds, but they're not quite able to get any shots. Still only the one shot on Dorocolo so far.
Yeah, and that was quite a good shift by the young guns of the Voodoos. They had Beatty out there with Owen Smetham, younger brother of our player out of game, Reese Smetham, along with Justin Russo, former Trappers center. And I believe he won MVP of the league last year for the Great North Midget League.
Face-off is won by, well, it's kind of won by the Voodoos, but the Thunderbirds immediately are right on them in the corner. Now the puck comes all the way back to Fellinger, but it's a little too hot for him to handle, and it goes back into the neutral zone. Be interesting to see which one of these teams is able to get kind of going in the offensive zone, and now Turner kind of gets laid out a little bit by Legler, and the puck is just out of the reach of Tucker Shields as he goes down, but it's not going to be fast enough, and it goes down for icing.
That was the first real hit, I think, that we've seen this game. There's not been a whole lot of physical activity. And as you mentioned, there's not been a whole lot of shots on either net. It's 4-1 currently in favor of the Voodoos. But there hasn't been any real dangerous chances. Yeah,
with 12:19 to go in this first period, it was very similar to the Espanola game that we called last week where, in that first period at least, the neutral zone games and trying to get a good start wasn't really happening. The Voodoos have had some opportunities, but they haven't been able, as Turner now sends it all the way in, but his shot is way too hot and goes over kind of the low, they got kind of low glass here as it goes into the netting.
And as you mentioned, that the neutral zone game hasn't been particularly strong. Powassan has done quite a bit better job of keeping control in the offensive zone, but they're not getting shots on net. The Thunderbirds are doing a very good job of defending just their neutral zones and not getting solid control the other way. Yeah,
you can just tell that what Peter Goulet wants to get his team to do, it's just not happening yet. But they have had more offensive pressure than the Thunderbirds, who've really struggled with their passing so far as the puck is in the Thunderbird zone. They have control right now as, again, they look to break up. Here is a pass trying to break through, but it's not going to find its mark as he was looking for the stick of Jackson Trushin. And he was not able to find it. Of course, Trushin, a guy who's 14 points so far on the season, 5 goals, 9 assists. So, again, one of those guys, one of the playmakers on the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, and the Voodoos do a very good job of keeping watch for those guys trying to break, and ends up leading to icings instead of goals.
Well, the Thunderbirds again have control. This one comes off the skate of Ryan Patrick and fails to get out of the zone. And now the Voodoos fighting for it. Here's Patrick in front of the net. He's going to get it off. Here's a shot from Lemke, but his shot goes wide. That's a dangerous line there with Lemke and Patrick. Alongside them is also Reese Smetham. As now the puck comes all the way back to the Voodoos zone. And if you would believe it again, it's yet another icing against the Soo Thunderbirds.
Yeah, unlike a lot of the other ones we've seen so far, that icing was not an instance of an errant pass. That was just lack of control in their own end, needing to clear it out and just firing it down.
You can really tell, too, that they're really trying to get some of their guys on breakaways, and you got to give a lot of credit to the Voodoos' defense. And now here's an opportunity the other way. Here's Trushin. Trushin, he gets a shot off. It was a good defensive play, though, from... Just trying to see can't see the number from this side. But the Voodoos come back the other way. Here's Tucker Shields. He sends it over to McCarthy. And he almost runs into man. That was now in the neutral zone as the Thunderbirds bring it into the Voodoo zone. Jaden Sturge has it. He sends it back the other way looking for McCarthy. McCarthy tries to get it out but can't quite get it as Fellinger now sends it deep into the Voodoo zone again. Again, the Thunderbirds have it, but they just haven't been able to get a good shot off. As in the corner there, that's Beaupre, and Beaupre over to Fellinger, shot right into the body of Dorocolo, and great positioning from the young Powassan goaltender with 10:27 to go, and only his second save of the game.
Yeah, and Beaupre is one of those names that we'd had discussion about before.
But I got it right the second time.
Yeah, you corrected yourself and you got it right. There's some of these names that they come in and you're like, oh, what's this going to be? Yeah. But that was the best chance they've had yet this game. It was really good play out of Beaupre.
Isaacson takes the face-off for the Thunderbirds, but loses it to Lemke, and now the Voodoos try to break out of their own zone. There's Patrick trying to find himself up for Smetham, but can't quite get it. Smetham, of course, our player to watch on the Voodoos side, and now it's going to be offside as the puck squirts outside, and Isaacson is on the wrong side of the blue paint.
That was just trying to get a little bit too ahead of themselves. I think Beaupre was a little offside there as well. And the puck came in, and he didn't quite clear because he was battling for a position. And the ref said, nope, let's start this over again. Everyone's going to be onside now.
Thunderbirds making my job hard today. They have like 4 or 5 players that don't have names on the back of their jerseys. So
that definitely does not help.
No, it doesn't. As it's face-offs won by Smith, and now both teams trying to fight for it in the neutral zone. And here come the Voodoos. Here's an opportunity, but it is swept aside by the Thunderbirds, and they come back the other way. Here's Stokes. He sends it over. A seeing eye pass, but the shot coming off the stick of Brady Reel is no good as it's blocked. And now Smith having it in his own zone for the Voodoos. He's trying to break out. He's getting a couple of sticks to his arm. And now it comes out. Here's a great opportunity here for the Voodoos. There's a shot stopped by Bourret off the stick of Caden Dubrow. And we will take a quick break. You're listening to the Frontline Game Day broadcast brought to you by Average Joe's.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
So we're roughly through the first half of this period, about 9:41 left to go. Shot 6-3 in favor of the Voodoos, and so far, Ben, what we've seen really is both teams trying to get something going in the offensive zone, but no real clear good shots so far from either side.
You're exactly right there, Ben. The Voodoos are doing a bit better job of controlling the puck in the offensive zone, but it's just not materializing into anything solid. Now, with that said, they have another half a period left here. If they can keep building on that control and develop it into some chances, I think we could see a couple in the net before the end of this period.
The Voodoos really controlled the game, I think, for probably the first 5 minutes, give or take, but it feels like, at least for the last few minutes, the tide's really turned. It feels more Soo Thunderbirds right now. It's more opportunities, even though they've only gotten 3 shots on net.
The Thunderbirds have really managed to connect some of those passes like you were talking about earlier, about how their passes just aren't on tape to tape. They're bouncing over sticks, a little ahead, a little behind, and they've managed to connect on a few and make some passes in the offensive end even.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if maybe later in this game, if those passes are being connected, that could spell real trouble for the Voodoos. Again, as the play gets back underway, Jaden Sturge able to get it in and not onside, as he still had a player from the faceoff in the offensive zone, and now the pass to Abraham goes right off his stick into the netting, and it'll go back for a neutral zone faceoff.
And it looks like it's going back to the dot just outside of the Thunderbirds' end, because it was a pass from their player off the stick of their own player.
Again, as we talked about, both teams doing well. How about the Voodoos, though? Again, we talked about this off the hop, but right now leading the East by 7 points. They have 18 points, 11 from Hurst and Timmins, who've really kind of fallen off when you consider the fact that last year Timmins really ran away with the series. Here's the Voodoos now. A shot off the stick of Wraith Smith is stopped by Bourret, as he's seen now 8 shots on net, but most of them coming right into the body. So not having to work too hard. Voodoos having it with under 9 minutes to go in the opening frame. Pass up to Dubrow is off his stick, they're going to say, so no icing. And now the Voodoos controlling in their own zone. Lemke trying to get something going, but Lemke can't quite make it around his defender. And now here's this opportunity from Lemke as they steal it. A sloppy play from the Thunderbirds, and the Voodoos trying to capitalize, but they're not able to, and now the Thunderbirds break the other way. And I guess with wanting to get a fresh set of legs, they decide to dump it in and go for a change instead of looking at that scoring opportunity. And now up the other way come the Voodoos. It's sent down into the zone by McCarthy. And Turner also fighting with it. He has McLean also with him. Shields sends it down. A nice little tip off the stick of Turner. But again, all these pucks, it seems, for the Voodoos are finding the body so far of Colton Bourret.
Yeah, he's done a great job of positioning and making sure he's in the right spot. Hasn't given up too many rebounds. Just to go back to what you were saying earlier about how the Voodoos are running away with the Eastern Conference a little bit here.
Yeah.
It would be easy to look at the stats and say, oh, they're just beating up on the weaker East Division, but they haven't played a whole lot against their own division. They played mostly the other division, so they're beating up on teams that are even more competitive.
And to put that into perspective, Sioux right now is second last in their division with 15 points. Right now leading the way there as That's going to be an icing call. Leading the way, it's the Greater Sudbury Cubs with 22 points. Blind River in second with 20 points. Then it's the Sioux Eagles, their counterparts, with 19. The Paper Kings with 16. The Thunderbirds with 15. And finally, the Vikings with 6. So just to show the disparity right now, if the Voodoos were in the West, they would be right now tied for third place. So it's the West has definitely had the better start as play gets back underway in the Voodoos zone, a defensive zone that they win. Here's Case trying to get it out, but Case tries to do a little bit too much and almost gets his pocket picked. Here comes Tucker Shields the other way. Shields, the leading Voodoos goal scorer with 8 on the campaign so far. Still doesn't have any call games, though, so hopefully that changes as Case sends it down to Turner. Turner trying to find McCarthy, but it gets deflected in front. And now it hops over the stick as it was trying to go back for Sturge, but Sturge does a good defensive play to keep Beaupre from breaking out. Now they're fighting for it right at center ice up against the boards. A handful of Voodoo players, a handful of Thunderbirds. The puck finally comes free, and coming back the other way come the Thunderbirds as they get dumped in. And again, now fighting for it in the Voodoos near corner. Case comes out with it, though, for the Voodoos, and now Case trying to bring it up again, trying to skate with it instead of making the pass, and that almost turns bad for him. But thankfully, Lemke's right there to help with that mistake. Sturge sends it around the other way, but no Voodoo is there to play in, and now Case is going to try to play off his man, as right now, as that is Connor Stokes with it, and now the puck comes out to the neutral zone. Back come the Thunderbirds again, and Rocklo is going to come out to play this dump-in attempt, and he's going to pass it around the other way, as Stokes was right there for the Thunderbirds, and he has it now in the corner. Stokes sends it back to the point, but it's stolen now, almost a breakaway opportunity for Lemke, as Abraham almost gives it away at his own end. There's Stokes with it. Stokes, he's being accosted by Lemke. Puck now in the corner, and Sturge picks it up for the Voodoos. Voodoos have spent a lot of time in the last 2 minutes in their own zone. Thankfully for them, the Thunderbirds have not had a good opportunity, as Roach has it for the Thunderbirds in the neutral zone, and he sends it over to his partner, Caden Dundas. Sturge now with it, and here's Patrick. They're trying to make some line changes here, so Patrick just dumps it back into the Thunderbird zone, and now the Voodoos have to do a quick line change, and here's a chance for Smith. Smith steals it. He's got a man with him. Smith shot up high, and a good shoulder save there from Burrow. Probably the best shot that we've seen, scoring opportunity from either team so far, as the Voodoos now control it. Smith again, a big burst of speed off the bench. Now a nice little pass over to Smith as he tries to play it, and it's going to be an offside called. And what a good little burst of speed between that line of Smith and DeBro, almost making this a 1-0 game.
Exactly. Both those players are particularly quick. Great acceleration out of both of them. Smith and DeBroy, both young players as well. To have them on this roster is just fantastic. You've seen some great plays out of them. And like we mentioned earlier, neither of them have had particular success finding the back of the net in a big way, but the way they're playing, it's only a matter of time.
Absolutely, and Smith's so close to picking that top locker corner. There's 5:10 to go here in this opening period. Here's Tucker Shields with it. Shields back to the point, having it in the Voodoo zone. Case tries to bring it up. In Case, we notice this a lot. He's carrying the puck quite a bit, not wanting to really pass it. He's got himself into some trouble as he gives up the puck in the Thunderbird zone, and now back come the Thunderbirds with numbers. But a good defensive play there from Zach Turner keeps it out, and now here's Trushin. Back come the Thunderbirds. Here's an opportunity shot, and that goes off his stick and wide. Good chance there from James Legler of the Thunderbirds. Zagani has it back to Dundas. Dundas trying to get around Turner. Turner's got to be careful with his stick as he almost did enough to maybe get called for a penalty there. Still no penalties so far as Patrick now wins the race down at the Thunderbird zone, and he's being held up by a couple of Thunderbirds. Now he's getting sent down, and now here's a play in front. And a great opportunity there from the Voodoos again as Smetham, Smetham, almost a great chance, and now Smetham has it again. Smetham shot and right into the body of Bourret with 4:07 to go. Now 12 shots out shooting the Thunderbirds. 12-4 are the Voodoos so far, and there's again, we saw this last couple of minutes. It's the Voodoos have had their chances here.
They're doing a great job of puck control, and as any hockey game that's not a complete blowout, you obviously are going to see some control to go the other way. I think one thing that really benefits the Voodoos is the reputation of Dan DiRoccolo.
100%.
That's part of why we're seeing so few shots, is they know they can't just take any shot. They have to get to a good spot, and the Voodoos are keeping them from getting there.
He did not start any of the 3 games so far this week. It was Tyson Wilcox getting his first ever NOJHL win on Wednesday against French River, and then Miles Gordon in net last night against Elliott Lake. So DiRoccolo is fresh, as Fellinger has it in the neutral zone. He sends it across to Evan Roach, as they're the pairing there. Beaupre gets gets a little hit there from Turner. Now Turner asking for the puck as he sends it down into the defensive zone. Another interesting thing that Turner was talking about was the fact that on the podcast was the fact that they do wear cages here in the NOJHL. He's used to wearing visors. Said that was something he had to get used to as well. Of course, that's a relatively new addition in this league. They used to wear visors for a very long time. And now here's Lemke trying to break out Lemke, but he had no help. Now Dundas loses his stick and his glove. And now here's Sturge. Sturge, he's got a man in front. The shot is blocked. Another great opportunity for Powassan, but back come the other way come the Thunderbirds. As they bring it across into the zone. Here's an opportunity shot, and right into the glove of Dan DiRoccolo off the stick of Daniel Beaupre, and then Beaupre gets hit after the whistle. And we'll see if anything comes of that. I don't think there will be, but there was probably the best opportunity there for the Sioux.
Yeah, that one along with the other play that Beaupre had set up, that he seems to be sort of the center of any real looks that they're getting today. But Dan DiRoccolo doing what Dan DiRoccolo does, right?
Absolutely. You had a good look at that one as well. We haven't seen too much of Alex Remenda, of course, who leads the Thunderbirds with 8 goals, but Beaupre does have 6 goals and 11 assists for 17 points. So he is definitely a threat for them. Play gets underway, 2:50 to go in the opening frame, and that goes off, that clearing attempt goes off the helmet of Russo and out of play. Not something you see too often, friendly fire.
No, you don't see that a whole lot, and plays similar to that are a lot of part of the reason why we're seeing cages added into the visors, as we talked about earlier, that at this age, a lot of these players are not going on to NHL careers. They're going on to other levels. They're going on to school in the United States.
A lot of them are going to NCAA or
OUA. A lot of those leagues
OUA.
have cage rules.
Absolutely. So play gets back underway in the Voodoos zone. It's Turner who has it. Turner has a little bit of space here. He's going to try to send up Tucker Shields. Shields, he's got McCarthy with him. A nice little pass, but it's just out of the reach of McCarthy, so he's going to grab it in the Thunderbirds' corner, and his deke there goes a little bit too far, and back come the Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds, there's a shot off the stick of Jacob Smith, and it's deflected and goes up and out of play with 2:22 to go.
That was a great defensive play by McLean to track him in exactly right and deflect the shot. Then he gave him a couple pushes after just to say, hey, I'm on to you.
Well, of course, we mentioned it a couple of times, but on the previous Frontline podcast, which you can catch on any of your favorite podcast players, Apple, Spotify, Google, you name it. Also on YouTube if you want a video version. We did, myself and Courtney Kenny, talk to Zach Turner and Darby McCarthy. Of course, both of them coming here from the U.S., played together, a lot of great chemistry. They talk about McCarthy being a goal scorer, Zach Turner being the playmaker, the roles that they like to play, and what they bring to the Voodoos this season. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, you can check it out there as well. That gets updated every week. We also have the after-action report following every North Bay Battalion game as well, as every Voodoo, on YouTube at least, every Voodoo home game broadcasted here on Flow Hockey and on YouTube. So there's 1:44 to go. The puck's in the neutral zone. The Voodoos now trying to bring it the other way. There's Smith. He gets tripped up. There's no call. Still no penalties here in the first period from either teams. And now McMillan has it against... We haven't seen him too much in this game, but McMillan has it up against the corner. Now he's gets the puck, comes loose to Case at the point. Here's McLean. McLean, shot stopped, a rebound chance. And stopped as Caden Dubrow. He's been all over the puck, it seems. And again, Colton Bure is right there to make the save.
Yeah, Bure's looking very solid tonight. He's finding himself square to the puck a lot of times. So even if his rebound control hasn't been particularly great, he's given off a few rebounds that I would like to have seen him hold if I was his goaltending coach. But he's doing a great job keeping the puck in front of him at least, so it's not getting
There's a minute 18 left. McLean from the point, a shot off the blocker of Bourret. There's Lemke. He won the face-off originally. Lemke trying to get around his man. Now he brings it all the way to the point, and then Case runs into his man, and now he's going to go off for a penalty, probably interference, I would imagine, as that is indeed the call. Now, I don't know if that really was his fault, as it kind of felt like they didn't really see each other, but either way, the Soo Thunderbirds are going to have a chance to go up here in a scoreless game with 1:04 left in the first period.
I almost suspect his reaction is what got him the penalty more than the play itself.
Potentially, yeah.
They ran into each other, and he almost looked like he was expecting the ref to go, like he made a gesture to the ref, like, come on. So
Yeah, it was a bit of a late hand signal as Lemke tries to get it out, but he can't, and now they're going to say the puck went out of the zone, and it's going to be offside. Didn't really look like it from here, but they have a little bit of a better angle than we do, and you can tell the Soo Thunderbirds bench not happy with it, giving it to the referee, although it was the linesman who made the call. So that's the life of being a ref in any sport. So the Thunderbirds have 50 seconds here in this period until the Case penalty will slide into the second period. They control it at the point. Dundas shot almost finds the back of the net, but it goes wide. Dundas now with it again. He's got Trushin as defensive partner. Trushin trying to play it. He brings it over to Dundas. Dundas trying to makes a nice little play, a nice little pass over there to Lebler, but it goes off his stick and goes wide. Here's Trushin. Now back to the point. Beaupre sends it over to Legler. Now Trushin has it again. He tries to get in tight. A good defensive stick there, but it's kept in. Dundas with it. Dundas right at the top of the circle. The shot does not find its way through traffic as the time's winding down. That will end the first period. It's scoreless. There will be 56 seconds left in Alex Case's interference penalty. So, Ben, what have we seen so far through 20 minutes, not 20 periods, 20 minutes of scoreless hockey so far?
I think what we've seen a lot of is a lot of great control by the Voodoos for the most part. It hasn't materialized into anything, but they have really gotten a lot of good control in the other team's zone. And just some of the passes across ice haven't quite connected, bounces over sticks, a little bit of back checking. That's where the Thunderbirds are showing great defense. They're not able to transition it into offense.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick, their period break. We'll have some action from you, however, during the break. We'll have some video clips for you to check out as well. 15-5 the overall shots for the Voodoos. It is scoreless between the Powassan Voodoos and the Soo Thunderbirds. You're listening to the Average Joe's Game Day broadcast.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Barry!
Huh?
I told you not to be scaring the customers.
Hey, Barry! Come on in for a bite. And bring Brianna with you.
For only 2 minutes up the hill, where you're only a stranger once.
Ready to embark on an electrifying adventure? Look no further than the Mitsubishi Outlander, available in gas or PHEV, the SUV that redefines excellence. Recently awarded the best midsize utility vehicle in Canada for 2023 by AJAC. This bold and sophisticated SUV delivers advanced performance, safety, and tech, plus peace of mind with its standard super all-wheel control and the best warranty in the business. With red-hot deals and plenty in stock, your award-winning drive starts with the Mitsubishi Outlander.
The Frontline starts now.
As promised, just before the break, we got two Powassan Voodoos in here with us. We have Zach Turner and probably one of the best hockey names I've gotten to say so far. Not that I'm trying to make you feel bad, Zach, but Darby McCarthy, what a name that just rolls off the tongue when you're calling a game. Gentlemen, welcome into the studio.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
I got to ask right off the hop. So we've come off the NOJHL Showcase, your first time both at that event. What'd you guys say? We'll start with you, Zach. What would you think? How'd you think the showcase went, other than the heartbreaking Soo Thunderbirds game?
I was actually really happy with how the showcase went. I didn't expect how much traction it was going to get. And like leading up to the showcase, I looked at like the NOJHL website and I was like, oh, wait, there's actually like schools coming and everything like that. So it made me want to like play way better. And I was just super excited to be there as well, especially because it was good competition.
Yeah, I mean, and I would argue both you guys elevated your game for it. It was, both you guys came out looking pretty good, I would say, after the showcase. So how about you, Darby? What'd you think of the showcase?
Same as Zach. I thought it was, I didn't really know what it was going into it, but yeah, there was a lot of schools and it was good hockey.
Is it weird, at this point because we were kind of thinking about this, and I know we said this, I was doing color during the game against the Soo Thunderbirds, and we were talking to Thomas Mercier, who's doing play-by-play. And we were talking about how it must be weird because you guys are used to playing, 7 o'clock games. Was it weird coming in there and playing like at 4 in the afternoon, stuff like that?
I wouldn't say it was weird, but it is something like you got to kind of be a little bit more accustomed to it. Like you come out of, midget hockey playing like that. So it's only been a year of not playing at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
I actually enjoy playing earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes playing at 7, I kind of get tired. Got to take a nap or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like playing earlier.
Yeah, he's got a good point too. Because when you have the earlier games, you don't have the whole day to think about the game later at 7 o'clock. You can kind of just wake up, get into your routine, and then boom, you got the game.
You just go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. And that was the weird thing for us because we did all the games on the second pad. So it was we had to be there at 10, start at 11:50. We're not done till 10 o'clock at night.
Ooh, yeah.
And we're used to just doing one game at 7 o'clock, and our voices hurt after that one. But hey, whatever. We're not playing hockey like you guys, so it's a little bit worse probably. But walking in there though, is it because you come home and play a game in Powassan, or right after you go to Blind River, play LA Lake, where it's just you guys. That's just the one game that day, right? That's all that's happening. But now you guys are walking into Sudbury. You're sitting there watching the game prior. Does it help to watch the game prior, or does it kind of get you a little bit antsy?
I would say I normally like seeing another game go on before mine, just because then you're evaluating that game and how it's going a little bit, and you could see if that's a super intense game or not, and it kind of puts you in the right mindset. When you're walking in and the ice is all empty and stuff, then you're a little bit set back, and you're like, oh, the storm is brewing. But when there's another game going on, it's all fine.
Yeah, fair enough. How about you?
I agree with Zach.
Yeah,
I like watching a little bit of the game before.
Was there any games that kind of caught your eye when you were there that you guys got to take in a little? Because it must be fun on the other side to be hey, now I get to kind of, like you just said, you get to evaluate it.
Yeah, I was actually watching, I think it was our first game. We showed up and I just took a walk around the rink, and on that second pad, I forget who the Soo Eagles were playing.
Oh, geez, yeah, we were doing that game too.
I think it was Blind River.
Yeah.
I'm not totally sure, but I was watching that game and I was like, oh, wow, that looks way better than what I thought it was going to look like, because the Iroquois Falls versus I don't know, whoever's playing on the other rink, I was like, oh, that's not very great of a game. So I went over to the other rink and I'm looking at this game. I was like, oh, this is fast and these guys are hitting it. This is good. So it was cool to see that game going on for sure.
Yeah. How about you, Darby?
Oh, not really. I was just kind of looking around.
Just having a good time.
Yeah, just walking around, checking it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing that was weird doing, because I spent most of my day on pad 2, except for when you guys played against the Thunderbirds. Every team that was away scored at least 5 goals that first day. It was just a really weird setup, and then the Cubs just destroyed the Rock at the end of the day 7-1, which was kind of that was what kept us going through the day. It was like, oh man, the Cubs and Rock's going to be a really good game, and then the Cubs just came out and just wiped the floor with Timmins, and we were like, oh, okay, can we go home now? That being said, though, I mean, you guys come out the next day. Let's go through that heartbreaking game against the Soo Thunderbirds a little bit, because that was a weird up and down game. And they what's your mindset on the bench when they score with 2.5 seconds left on the clock?
Yeah, that was hard because I was out on the ice actually when they scored that, and we had so much momentum going at the time before they scored that goal. Our line was just putting up goal after goal after goal, and I was like, oh, this is going really well. And then it wasn't really, it kind of got flat after a while when we weren't scoring and none of the lines were really producing super great. So as soon as they put up the 2 goals to kind of respond, then it was like we're sitting in the backseat now, and it was hard to kind of control the game.
Same with Zach.
Yeah.
We were rolling for a while and then kind of flattened out, I guess.
It was funny from my perspective, just because I was texting. I was like, because again, I got asked to do color for that game, and I'm texting my guys on pad 2 saying, you guys are gonna have to start the next game without me because this one's probably going to overtime. And then I immediately texted back being like, well, we're not going to overtime. Never mind. Like, it was just that's the closest thing to like a walk-off you have in hockey outside of overtime.
Yeah. Yeah. That was tough. Especially because both Darby and I just get absolutely destroyed by the Soo Thunderbirds guys. Like right on that last play, Darby gets laid out. I get laid out. And then it's like, there's nothing you can do when you're lying on the ice hurt after just getting crushed by one of those guys.
Wow. On the bright side, you hopefully get a little bit of revenge this weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't have too long to wait, which is usually not the case when it's an East team versus a West team in this league. Usually you might have to wait till like the end of the year, but they're coming into your barn, guys.
Yeah, and revenge is due.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a team we should be beating by a lot more as well. We should not be like that close of a game to them.
No, I mean, to be fair, their guys showed up to play that. They played a good game, but I don't think they deserve to win that game, but that's just me. I wanted to ask you guys, both coming from the States, signing with the Voodoos here this summer, what brought you guys to Powassan? What brought you thinking, usually when you guys are coming from the States, a little town or Northern Ontario like Powassan's not really on many guys' radar.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a story to this. So I can start with how it went for me because it kind of ties into how it went with Darby. So I knew Peter back when he coached at Trenton.
Yeah.
So I was playing at CompUR at the time.
Yeah.
And Peter was trying to recruit me to play for Trenton. And I was super interested in going there at the time, but he got released. So he ended up coming here after and still wanted me to come here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not sure yet. I don't know if that's what I want to do. So I ended up staying in the States, but he still wanted to get me. So now over the summer, I had a friend who played in Powassan, Nick Liatino.
Oh, yes.
And he spoke like super highly of the program and everything like that. And I knew Peter was a good coach, but he has like I don't want to say like he has something. I just know he's sent a lot of guys into school and done like a really good job with American players getting recruited to school. And I know he's like a person that has a lot of like a good resume. Like he's always done a good job with coaching. So I was like, I wasn't super happy with how last year went with my coaches, and I wanted to change. So Powassan was a spot I wanted to end up in.
And for you, Darby?
Well, Zach introduced me to him. He brought me to Boston for the showcase. And
is that the Chowder Cup or whichever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we talked there, and he asked me to sign. He asked me to come up in July, was it?
Oh, yeah, for the camp.
Yeah, for the camp. So I came up for the camp in July, and then I signed then. So, yeah, I got to talk to him, and I liked him a lot. Him and Hardo.
He's they have a way about them, man. Like I first met them last year. The first time actually I ever met Peter, Chris, because I write freelance for Chris too for a local newspaper. And Chris said, "Well, I come to camp. I want you to do a feature on the camp and Peter and stuff." So they played a scrimmage, and I went upstairs into the coach's room, and I'm waiting for Peter. And the next thing, just out of nowhere, he starts bringing kids in for the cuts. And I'm just sitting there.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
Well, we welcome you back into the Powassan Sportsplex here on both on the Frontline YouTube channel as well as Flow Hockey. You're listening to the Average Joe's Game Day broadcast. I'm Ben Sargent, alongside with me Ben Long, as we are through one period of play between the Powassan Voodoos and the Soo Thunderbirds. There is no score, 15-5 the shots, and in the break you saw a clip from this week's Frontline podcast where we talked to, myself and Courtney talked to Zach Turner and Darby McCarthy. You can check out the whole video on YouTube, and you can also get the audio version on your favorite podcatcher, as it was a really interesting discussion that we had with them. As the Voodoos start to come back onto the ice, they'll still be shorthanded for 56 seconds, as the only bit of action in the first period was Alexander Case going off at the 18:56 mark for interference. Ben, what do you need to see here from Powassan in this second period?
I don't know if we need to see anything different from Powassan than what they've been doing. To keep up the control the way they've been playing, to keep getting chances, they're going to find the back of the net eventually. I don't know if I don't have if they did this or this differently.
Sure.
I know for the Thunderbirds, they need to work on their transitions and control getting into the opposing end.
Absolutely.
For them to have a chance on anything.
I'm sure Peter Goulet had a couple of more thoughts than what you gave us, but hopefully you hope that he's driving the ship there, and he's a smart guy. But
they played a good period.
They have,
if
100%.
There's not a huge thing, a lot of amount of things are correct. You don't always have to go in the room and shake things up. Sometimes you say, keep doing the same thing and we'll get to where we're going, right?
Absolutely. They have played really well. Again, they're going to be shorthanded for 56 seconds as the puck is dropped, and we're back underway for the second period. Thunderbirds looking to get something going. Only 5 shots in that opening frame. Had a couple of good ones. Beaupre being the player to really watch in that first period. Here's an opportunity, though, right off the top, and he scores! That's Jacob Smith going top shelf over the blocker, and just like that, a power play goal 14 seconds in gives the Soo Thunderbirds the lead.
That was just a great play by Smith. Got in, took a shot that not many goalies are going to save that. Like, that's just one of those plays where you take your lumps and you move on.
Well, you look at that, very similar to what Reese Smith tried to do earlier in the last period for the Voodoos, but found the shoulder of goaltender Colton Bourret, but Duracolo, not much he could do on that one, and a big power play goal to start things off in this period. And I guess if you're the Sioux, kind of the best start you could have if you're the Voodoos, that's got to hurt a little bit when you consider how well they were playing in that first 20 minutes.
With the fact that they had such control over the game, they're leading 15-6 in shots. To have such a quick goal against you in a period is obviously going to be a little bit deflating, but there's lots of time left, and that's, I'm sure, the message on the bench is, all right, guys, let's get that back.
Absolutely, and with the way that the Voodoos are playing, I wouldn't be surprised if they do it relatively quickly. As the puck is dumped into the Thunderbirds zone, there's Cameron Lemke fighting for it in front of probably about 4 Thunderbirds players, as now there's now going to be a penalty as Reese Smetham touches up, and it looks like Lemke's going to go off potentially for roughing. And so the Thunderbirds, who are now 1-for-1 on the power play, are going to go back on the power play, as again Cameron Lemke going off for roughing. Couldn't really see what he did in the corner there, but he definitely did enough to draw the ire of the referees.
As you said, we don't have necessarily great vantage points of 2 of the corners here, so we couldn't particularly see what was going on, but I think it was played behind the puck as well. Thought the puck came out and played, moved on, and 2 guys were probably jawing at each other.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably the worst place in the ice for anything interesting to happen. But either way, the Thunderbirds will have a chance. Again, 1-for-1. They scored about 14 seconds into this opening frame. And now here's Dundas' shot. And that rebound goes right onto the stick of Alexander Case, who sends it. Or, sorry, that is Ryan Patrick who sends it down. And now a good job from Reese Smetham putting some pressure here on the Thunderbirds as they try to break into the Voodoo zone. Up come the Thunderbirds. Now they gain zone possession. Here's LeBlanc and his shot. It was tipped, and it was almost Smith again putting one in, but it hits off the iron. Now here's Dundas. They're passing it around Legler brings it back to Dundas at the point. Dundas' shot goes off the padding of Smetham, and again, it's Legler who sends it down into the corner. Now here's an opportunity in front. Dorocolo gets the pad out. The puck is loose right in front, but it's cleared by the Voodoos. Another great opportunity tight in the net. Here's Legler. He sends it down to Beaupre, who had that great chance seconds ago, but now the puck is going to squirt outside of the zone. And it's brought back by Truncheon. Truncheon tries to get around his man, but Case doesn't let him. And now Smetham has it in his own corner with 47 seconds to go in the penalty to Cameron Lemke for roughing. Now deep in the corner, it comes out for Legler. Legler sends it across, and now there's a captain. Fellinger with a shot that's stopped by Dorocolo as he's been busy in the first 2 minutes of this period. Fellinger at the point, back for Beaupre. Beaupre brings it around for Fellinger. Now right at the face-off dot, his shot goes off the stick of Smetham. Reese Smetham's been out there for this entire penalty kill. Actually, the whole Voodoos team has been out there for that entire penalty kill. That whole line's now going to go off for a change with 10 seconds left in Lemke's penalty. So not the start that the Voodoos wanted to chalk this one up, as a good defensive play there from Zach Turner as he's being a menace in the Thunderbirds zone. And now the penalty's back. We're back on to 5-on-5. Turner, a nice stick to keep the puck in the Thunderbirds zone so that the Voodoos can kind of get a change going and get some fresh legs on the ice. A really good penalty, really good offensive zone pressure from Turner. So now the Voodoos have control in their own zone, and they're going to try to break it out. That one goes off of Beaupre, a long shot from the Voodoos' own side, keeps it from being icing. And the Thunderbirds are looking to break out in the neutral zone, but it gets caught up into the skates of the player, and now it's shot on net and stopped by Dorocolo, a quick shot from Liam Watson.
That was a fantastic power play by the Thunderbirds. Remember how I was saying they needed to have better control in the offensive zone? That was exactly what they needed to be doing.
And they found a lot of space, too, in that offensive zone.
And they had a lot of good chances, a couple good rebounds that, fortunately for the Voodoos, they weren't able to capitalize on.
So the Voodoos looking a little shaky here defensively at the start of this period as, again, the Thunderbirds almost taking advantage of back-to-back power play goals, but so far they only lead by one. And the Voodoos not able to stay on side, however, is Smith, and we'll get another whistle with 16:37 left to go in this second frame.
That's one of those plays right now where stick handling across the blue line, you want to make sure that you're getting in and staying in.
Yep.
Because they had a chance where they had good control of the puck inside the zone, and now they're back outside with another face-off.
Well, they're going to try to do something. The pass intended to McMillan is not good, and now here comes Degagne the other way for the Thunderbirds. As the Voodoos looking to get something going in the neutral zone, but Smith gets his pocket picked by Degagne, and now back comes Degagne for the Thunderbirds. His shot is poked nicely there by Jaden Sturge, and now Sturge, his pass is not quite good enough, but the Voodoos still get it as it's stuck in the skates of McMillan, and now McMillan loses it. He goes off. He's holding onto his arm, so we'll have to keep an eye on number 10 there for the Voodoos. Degagne with it in the Thunderbirds zone, and they're trying to break out as the pass comes up to its intended target, but it goes back in the Voodoo zone, and back come the Powassan. Good burst of speed here from McLean. McLean's shot, and it goes off a stick and goes wide. McLean going from one side of the ice all the way down to the other end, and now McLean has it again at the point. Over to Case. Case, his shot right into the body of Colton Beret. And finally, the Voodoos trying to fight back a little bit here in the second period.
That's always hard to start off a period shorthanded, give up a goal, and then almost right away get another penalty that you're going to have to kill off. The Voodoos did a great job of getting that one killed. Dan Dorocolo being the best penalty killer as you need your goalie to be.
Yeah.
And now they're back trying to get control in the Thunderbird zone.
He made a couple of good saves despite only facing 9 shots. Again, we talk about him, a sub-2 goals against average so far as the puck misses its intended target in the neutral zone, goes down for icing against the Thunderbirds. 15:24 to go here in the second period. And it really feels like the Voodoos kind of need to stretch the ice a little bit here, go east-west a little bit more in the offensive zone to try to get something by Bouret, who's been, as you said, fantastic with his positioning so far. And now the face-off is won by the Thunderbirds, but it's picked up quickly by Smetham. Reese Smetham with it. He's being accosted. Good defensive play there from the captain, Fellinger. And here's Ryan Patrick, sends it back for Smetham. Smetham behind the Thunderbirds net, sends it to the point. Here's McClelland, his shot. It's tipped by Patrick and goes off of his stick and up into the netting for an offensive zone faceoff.
That's exactly what the Voodoos need to be doing here, getting in front of the net, getting sticks on those pucks going towards Bure, because if you're getting just a clean shot from the point, goalies at this level are going to be saving that 9 times out of 10 or even more than that. So they need to get in there getting those tips. Fortunately, that one just went too high.
And again, we talked about Colton Bure's positioning, and there's a reason he has a 202 goals against average of the season. We're seeing it here. But also another thing to say, again, the Voodoos, 16 goals in their last 2 games that they scored, 8-1, 8-2, and 8-1 respectively. The Thunderbirds coming off a 9-0 win against Kirkland Lake, and yet only 1 goal so far through about 25 minutes here, as we expected with these guys in net. Here's Tucker Shields in the Thunderbirds zone, and the Thunderbirds doing a great job of not letting the Voodoos get any movement with the puck in the offensive zone, as McCarthy actually fell. And now back come the Thunderbirds. A chance in the pass in front from Jacob Smith, the goal scorer, who is not able to find its intended target. And now Tucker Shields come up the other way, but he loses a handle on the puck. McCarthy has it. McCarthy fighting down in the corner. Now the puck comes loose, and it's going to be picked up behind the net by the Thunderbirds, again, who have had a very good defensive showing in the second period. And the Thunderbirds are going to bring it back up the other way, as the charge is led by Caden Dundas, who's been all over the puck, especially during those 2 power play opportunities that the Thunderbirds have had in this game. Now here's Reese Smetham. But that pass does not get to where it's intended, but the Voodoos regain possession. Patrick travels it around. He's looking for Jaden Sturge, who comes in, who pinches in off the point. Sturge is not able to hold it, and now it's trying to be cleared here by the Thunderbirds, but they're not quite able to get it out. And here's Smetham, his pass in front. Not able to find who wants, but Patrick's able to regain possession, and now Smetham fighting for it. And now here's a chance. Patrick, his shot is stopped by Bure. Patrick's still in possession behind the puck. He brings it all the way around, and now he sends it back the other way for Smetham. The puck's in front, but they're not able to get a shot away. And the Voodoos bringing good pressure, but they haven't been able to get a good shot on net, and now they're fighting for it in the near corner. There's about 2 Thunderbird player all over Cameron Lemke, who's out there. And now it's going to be the Sioux who's going to break away with it, but they're not able to clear the puck, as Rotundo's able to keep it in. Still pressure. Here's Lemke behind the net. Lemke is pass out in front. Was not for his intended target, and the Thunderbirds break out the other way. Here's Beaupre, but Beaupre's not able to do it, and there's going to be another penalty coming to the Voodoos. It's going to be a slash, and it's going to be on Cameron Lemke.
That was one of those penalties that's an unfortunate play, but you almost have to make it. They were heading towards a very quickly a dangerous 2-on-1 chance. Yep. Made a stick check at him and knocked the stick out of his hands.
Yeah, and Beaupre not able to, again, we talk about how he's tied for points coming into this game with Jacob Smith. Jacob Smith now leading that with the goal scorer, with a goal, as he'll take the penalty here. But again, we've seen a very dangerous Sioux Thunderbirds power play. They've got 1 goal already in this period from the power play. They're 1 for 2 altogether, but they've had their chances as Smith wins the faceoff, and it's down into the corner for DeGagne, back for Beaupre. Beaupre still holding it at the blue line. He sends it across ice. And now here's Smith. He sends it up. Now Dundas with a one-timer. Good block there from Ryan Patrick as he gets in front of it. Now another opportunity there from Smith, but he's denied by DeRoccolo at the side of the net. Still with possession are the Thunderbirds. And now here's a shot from the point. Misses, and almost a glorious opportunity by Beaupre, but he's not able to make the baseball swinging connection there to put it into the empty net. And now here's Dundas at the point. Dundas gets it back. His one-timer, another block from Patrick, and he felt that one. Patrick now still up, but he's limping as he's now stuck in his own zone. And as it gets passed over, there's Trushin with a chance. Puck comes out in front through the slot, but not able to pull the trigger's Legler. Legler over for Trushin. This has been the dangerous line, or power play unit, I should say, for the Thunderbirds. Dundas goes around his man, and his shot goes wide. Patrick still feeling it off after that shot block. There's now 45 seconds to go. Here's a shot. Good blocker save from DeRoccolo, denying Legler from potting his first of the game. And the Thunderbirds second, and finally Tucker Shields is able to clear it out. Bourret comes out to play behind the net, and they're able to get their second power play unit on, and Ryan Patrick immediately limps, and he's off the bench right now on the side between the dressing room. So both him and McMillan are guys we're going to have to keep an eye on. But here's a short-handed chance for Zach Turner. Turner, nice play. Turner comes in, and he's denied. What a save from Colton Bourret, denying him with the pad. What a beautiful play from both sides. Turner with the short-handed opportunity. Bourret with the desperation pad save. As the penalty winds to a close, Lemke comes out. He goes directly to the bench. McMillan comes back out onto the ice, so that's good to see. And now it comes back the other way. The tipped shot goes wide off Duracolo. And back come the Voodoos. Voodoos trying to bring it up and couldn't quite get it in the zone. Pass in front for McMillan, but he misses his opportunity. McClellan keeps it in. McMillan now fighting for it in the corner. Again, double teamed here by the Thunderbirds. Looks like McMillan's down there as well as Dubroy. And back here comes Remenda. He's the leading goal scorer with 8 goals on the season for the Thunderbirds. As Abraham has it, he sends it back. McMillan now trying to bring it back the other way for the Powassan Voodoos. McClelland in the defensive zone. He's trying to get it out, but he can't. He gets overpowered by a couple Thunderbird players. Puck comes around the back of the net. It's picked up by Carson Ricci, and now it's sent down, and this one should be no icing. Icing's waved off as the puck didn't have quite enough juice to get down there. Now a breakout pass looking for Lake, but it's not able to, it's a little too hot for him to handle. And now it's in the offense, it's in the neutral zone for Alexander Case, who sends it in off of Bourret. As we're getting close to our mid-period break here as well with 9:28 to go. It's still 1-0, 19-10 the shots. Jacob Smith with the goal 14 seconds into this period, a power play goal. They're now 1 for 3 on the power play. The Voodoos have not had an opportunity. Zach Turner had a glorious chance earlier in this section of play, but he was denied on a shorthanded opportunity by a beautiful play, beautiful save that you'll probably see in some highlight packages by Bourret. The puck is now in the Thunderbirds zone as the puck's kind of been going back and forth. Now it's kicked ahead there by Nick Beattie, and finally we're going to have a whistle, and this should take us to our mid-period break, I believe, as there's the buzzer there. So with 8:54 to go, it's 1-0 Soo Thunderbirds through a period and a half. You're watching and listening to the Average Joe's Frontline Game Day broadcast.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Well, it's Ben. It's been about a 4 or 5 minute sequence. A lot of exciting stuff. It's your turn to talk now. What have you seen in that last 5 minutes?
There was a lot of back and forth play there. I saw a lot of you talking. How's your throat feeling after that?
It's a little rough.
Yeah, it's good play there. We saw a lot of good control by both teams and some good chances going both ways. That was just a remarkable play by Bourret to make that save off of, I believe it was Turner was down.
It was Zach Turner, yeah.
Zach Turner. And then Turner immediately after that, being robbed on there, threw a big hit, and I think was getting a little bit of that aggression out of can't believe I didn't score that one.
Well,
but that was a great play that Turner made to get that chance even.
Absolutely, a great little shovel off the near boards and really showed that burst of speed. And again, Turner and McCarthy are names that you're going to want to watch all season long as exciting American hockey players who spend a lot of time together, a lot of chemistry together. They live together in Montana, play together. And yeah, they're going to be an exciting team to watch. They're there with Tucker Shields as they're on the ice now together with Case and McLean on the back end. 8:54 to go. 1-0 Soo Thunderbirds, though. At this point, it could be like a 1-1 game, a 3-1 game. Who knows? As it has, if anything, it has been exciting as Zach Turner gets a stick on that clearing attempt and keeps it in. And now him and Tucker Shields go in, and they're not able to come away with the puck. And now Case tries to pinch in, and here's a chance for Trushin. He's got a man with him, but a good defensive play from McCarthy getting back there as Case tried to make the aggressive play and we've seen him do that a couple of times, trying to make the more aggressive play and almost again cost them, as now the puck's dumped on the right side of center ice, so no icing, as Case picks it up, but his clearing attempt gets intercepted by Legler, and back come the Voodoos now. They had numbers, but a good stick off there from Dundas breaks up the opportunity, and back come the Thunderbirds the other way. Here, Trushin, he's got Smith with him as well as Legler, and Legler now is getting hit and roughed up a couple of times there by Michael McLean. Here's Case now. Case bringing it into the Thunderbirds zone, but he's not able to get the puck in too deep, and now back come the Thunderbirds the other way. Here's Beaupre. He's got a man with him in Zachary Isaacson. And now the Thunderbirds have possession, but they're not able to break it in, and now it goes off of Lemke, and now Lemke has a chance. Lemke's taken down. No call, as though I'm sure if the fans had their way, they probably would have liked that. And as now it's dumped back into the Thunderbird zone, and it's Boré comes out to play it. Up comes the captain, Fellinger. Fellinger sends it in on the right side of center ice. As now an opportunity, puck in front, but no one was there from Soo to put it in the back of the net. They're now fighting for it in the corner. It goes all the way to the point for Roach. Roach sends it in front. There's a shot. Duraclo had to be sharp on that one. Puck is still loose in the slot area. Now it's brought out by Reese Smetham, and now there's going to be a penalty up against the Voodoos, I believe, as the puck left the area. There was an extra shot there from, I believe that is Carson Ricci.
I think it was Rotundo that took the extra shot on.
Or Rotundo, sorry. Yeah, you're correct. Can't really see what the referee's saying something to Peter Goulet. Peter Goulet is not happy right now on the bench. It is Rotundo. It looks like a 27, but it was a 17.
Yeah.
So this is now the fourth opportunity for the Soo Thunderbirds in this. Well, if you include the last minute of play in the first period, that's 4 penalties in roughly 15 minutes of play so far.
That is not normal to see that many penalties go one way. Last year we saw the Voodoos take a fair amount of penalties, and they've been pretty good this year about keeping a little more discipline, but today it's kind of coming apart that way a little.
And it doesn't help that the Thunderbirds have a really strong power play so far. They're 1 for 3 already, and honestly, it could be more. There's 6:48 left to go in this second period. Still 1-0 Thunderbirds. Shot 19-10 in favor of the Voodoos, but this period has really been dominated by the Sioux so far, mostly thanks to the fact that they would have spent probably about 7 minutes by the time that this one runs out on the power play. Here's Beaupre. Beaupre back to the point to Dundas. Dundas to his partner in crime, Jackson Trushin. Again, this is the top power play unit that's been very dangerous of Trushin, Dundas, Legler, Jacob Smith, and Beaupre. Now the puck comes into the slot area. It's almost cleared away, but not quite. And now Case still can't get it out. So still pressure in the offensive zone. Down deep, there's Legler. Now shot comes in. Duraclo with the save. The puck's behind him, and it goes in. He makes the initial save, but the puck goes past him, and it's 2-0 Soo Thunderbirds, as I believe that one's going to end up going to, it looks like Jackson Trushin is the goal scorer, as we'll see who exactly gets the goal on that one. But at the end of the day, it's 2-0 Soo Thunderbirds.
That's 2 power play goals, so I think one thing that Powassan has to be looking at is not taking those extra shots, because 2 of the penalties have been roughing. A couple of those have been, there's an interference was one of them, but they have to take those extra last shots, getting those penalties. They got to cut back on that.
100%. Kind of unlucky as Duraclo again makes the initial save, but the puck just ends up finding the back of the net behind him. Kind of a tough one for him. 2-0 Sioux. Both coming off the power play, and both from that top power play unit. Puck now back in the Voodoos zone, and the Thunderbirds are looking for more. Kind of goes back to that almost Case not able to get the puck out of the net or out of the zone earlier as well. Might have ended up leading up to that goal as they weren't able to clear. And now the puck's cleared. Now here's a race for it. McMillan, he's looking to get one back. McMillan on the breakaway. His shot just over the glove side and wide from Bourret, but McMillan has it again behind the net. McMillan tries to send it in front. They're jamming it. The puck's loose. It's right there, and he scores! Caden Dubois. It makes it 2-1 at the 5:23 mark, but what a play from Matthew McMillan as Dubois is able to get the Voodoos back within 1.
And we've been talking about Dubois all game, where he's getting those chances. He's there all night, every night, looking like he's dangerous, just hasn't had the puck go in. And And there he was in one of the dirty spots, not making a pretty play, but being where he needs to be to get the puck in the net.
Again, Matthew McMillan with his first opportunity just goes wide, but he retains possession, keeps the puck behind the net, tries to do the wraparound. The puck is loose. Again, Colton Bourret was not able to hold on to it. The puck was loose, and it was, of course, Caden Dubroy who's able to just get it over the line. And the Soo Thunderbirds coach is not happy as he's yelling at somebody. I think he's trying to get the ref's attention, but he had the door open at one point yelling there. But the Voodoos are now there looking for more on their side as it's now in the Thunderbirds zone behind the net. Here's an opportunity from Owen Smetham. Smetham trying to get it back to the point, and they do. Here's a shot from the point. It's blocked. That one coming off the stick of Justin Russo. Puck still there. Russo back to the point. Now the shot as it deflects up high and wide. And now back with it again is McLean. Puck comes up. Lake's able to get it. Rotundo brings it back up. Sorry, that was Beatty from earlier. Check that. Nick Beatty still has it, and he almost steals it as Bourret was not realizing he was right there. Back come the Thunderbirds the other way, but a good strong play from Shields to knock his man off the puck. Shields has the puck again now in his own zone. Shields, he's got Turner. Nice little saucer pass just out of the reach of Turner, and now Barreau comes out to play it, but Turner keeps it as McCarthy was right there. McCarthy behind the net. McCarthy still with it. And now the puck comes down into the behind the net of the Thunderbirds. Does Andrew Thompson getting one of his first touches on the game. We haven't seen his number get called too much in this one. As Dundas has it behind his own net. Now the Thunderbirds trying to set things up under 4 minutes to go. It's a 2-1 game. As Smith brings it up. And now it's stolen again from the Voodoos as they try to, as that was Turner trying to get it around his man, but he's not able to get it. He'll go off for a change. Jacob Smith, one of the goal scorers for the Thunderbirds, bringing it up. He flips it in to the zone. It's brought up by Legler. Legler up for Trushin. Trushin, his pass across for Fellinger, but it goes off the boards, and now Fellinger sends it into around the net on the other side. Still with it are the Thunderbirds. Roach keeps it in. They're keeping good pressure here near the end of the second period. But back come the Voodoos, but McLean's not able to get it around his man. And now here's a chance. Legler, his shot goes off of Duracolo, off the ceiling, and out of play. 3 minutes now to go, 2-1 Soo Thunderbirds.
One thing that I also wanted to mention about that last penalty kill, it was nice to see Patrick back out there.
Yes.
Out there blocking shots at the point, because on the previous penalty kill, he took one off the foot and looked like he was in a lot of pain, and those can be dangerous injuries that happen.
Just want to confirm Jackson Trushin was the one who got the goal, his 6th of the year. As again, we weren't exactly sure who was going to get credited with it, but Trushin's the one who gets the credit. Legler and Smith on the assist. So that was the second goal for the Thunderbirds. And now the Thunderbirds in possession in the Voodoo zone. That pass going across the slot for Lake was able to find him. And now speaking of Patrick, here he is. He's going to dump it in off the leg of Liam Watson as he kind of hobbles a little bit. And behind the net fighting for it is Reese Smetham with Patrick. And now there's a bunch of bodies on top of the puck. And now it's going to be blown dead by the referee as Patrick was kind of laying on top with another Thunderbirds player. 2:22 to go.
That almost looked like a dangerous fall as well there. The way Patrick was taken out, there's a guy on one side and a guy on the other side and kind of went down underneath him, and sometimes you can get leg injuries there. But
yeah, and he already went off earlier hobbling from blocking a shot.
Yeah, so to see him skating off under his own power is good, and, Trey didn't have to come out or anything. He got up perfectly fine. And there was, that would have been another opportunity for someone on the Voodoos to step in and maybe take another roughing penalty, so it's good to see that they have the things under control.
Well, Tucker Shields taking the face off here for the Voodoos. He kind of wins it. That's one of those ones where neither team really wins, but back come the Thunderbirds regardless. That shot is blocked and goes wide. And now both teams fighting for it in the Voodoo zone. Voodoos break out. Coming up from the Voodoos is Carson Ricci as he sends it into the corner. And Tucker Shields now on it for Powassan, along with a handful of Thunderbirds players. Now Shields is taken down. That's going to be a penalty towards the Thunderbirds. And it looks like it's going to be Grayson Abraham going off for tripping as he trips up Tucker Shields, and now the Voodoos with $1:54 to go are going to get their first chance on the power play this evening.
And that was one of those tripping calls that you have to make, but it was one of those not intentional. Stick got tied up in his feet and he fell, but that's, you got to be in control of your stick. And as you could hear, the Powassan faithful here were quite happy to see a penalty go the other way.
So it'll be Shields, Turner, McCarthy, that top line, alongside with Case and Lemke on the back end. First time tonight we're able to see this. It was the Thunderbirds who picked up both their goals on the power play so far, as they're fighting Beaupre is fighting for it down. But now Shields has it. Shields picking it up, go back to the point for Lemke. Lemke over to Case. Case brings it in as he's trying to break ground between him and Bourret. Now here's Lemke from the point. Lemke, his shot goes through but goes wide. As the oohs and ahs from the crowd, as that looked like it went in from the far side, but it was wide of the net. Lemke picks it off the stick of Dan Dorocolo, and they try to fight for it again. Almost just over a minute left in this period. Patrick not able to keep it in. They're now offside, so Case has to get back onside, and he's going to be the one who's in charge of the high press as it's sent all the way down, and almost a scary play from Lemke as he stops it, but Beaupre was right there. He was like a shark looking for a good opportunity short-handed. We saw Zach Turner with a glorious chance earlier in this game, and now fighting all the way through it is Reese Smetham. Smetham in front for Patrick, but he fans on the shot. And now Patrick has it again. The puck is loose right there in the slot. Nobody wants it. And it's picked up by the Thunderbirds, but not cleared. That's a great play from Carson Ricci. Keeps it in. Here's McLean. McLean's shot goes high and wide. Right at the side of the net is Smetham, but he's not able to corral a bouncing puck. 30 seconds to go in this period. And the Voodoos were that close to tying things up going into the final frame. With a burst of speed, here comes McMillan. Matthew McMillan going by everyone. McMillan again, his pass in front, but nobody's there to take it, and McMillan wraps all the way around and picks up his own rebound. Here's Ricci, 14 seconds to go. Ricci's shot, it goes off a body in front and out of play with 12 seconds to go in this period. And the Voodoos have come so close, Ben, on this power play of tying things up.
There's been a few good chances, and this is a really good power play that they're running here. They're doing a very good job of controlling the puck, moving it around. They're just not connecting to anyone in front. Well, kind of looked like they were almost calling a timeout, but 'tis not the case.
So it'll be an interesting third period for sure, but we still have 10 seconds left here. Puck comes out, and it's going to go out of the zone, and that's pretty much going to do it here as it's dumped back into the Voodoos zone. And that will be the final whistle of the period. So the Thunderbirds get 2 on the power play, but the Voodoos get 1 back, thanks to a really nice tip-in from Caden Dubroy after a really nice play from Matthew McMillan. And we're going to go to the third period. The shots 20-12 in favor of the Voodoos as you're listening to the Average Joe's Game Day broadcast here on the Frontline.
Why is Northern Honda servicing more cars of all makes and models? Let's count the ways. 1. Our state-of-the-art facility has award-winning technicians. 2. Northern Honda has the lowest tire price guarantee, no matter what you drive. 3. The lowest synthetic oil change guarantee, and every 5th oil change is free for all makes and models. Plus, new Honda buyers get brake pads for life. See the service difference at Northern Honda, 1250 Seymour beside Home Depot.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Pleased to be joined by Declan Gallivan of the Soo Thunderbirds here at the NOJHL Showcase. And Declan, I got to ask you, when we're trying to get to know you, give us a little bit of what you're like out on the ice.
On the ice, I just like getting pucks to my forwards, breaking the puck out clean and try not to get beat wide.
When you come into the season, was there a specific player that you're trying to emulate your game after?
Colby Fellinger. I like Colby Fellinger. He's the captain on my team. Last year, he was a big role model for me just because, I didn't have a lot of games or anything, and kind of just taught me to do my thing.
Playing in the Soo, one of the bigger markets here in the NOJHL. Of course, there's a couple of teams around that area, but what's it like so far been playing in the Soo?
Yeah, it's awesome. The fans are crazy in the Soo, and then when we go up north, they're even crazier. So those north trips are always fun.
I got to ask you, you're signed with the battalion, a draft pick of the North Bay Battalion. How do you think playing in the NOJHL and junior A hockey is going to prepare you for the jump to the OHL?
Just the speed and the pace. I mean, in the OHL, obviously, it's a lot faster, but there's some really good kids out here, really fast, and it'll just help me make decisions quicker and just up my pace more.
Perfect. Thanks for this, Declan.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
That's Declan Gallivan here at the NOJHL Showcase.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
Well, we welcome you back inside the Powassan Sportsplex. It is the Powassan Voodoos versus the Soo Thunderbirds. It's 2-1 Thunderbirds as we head into the final frame. We welcome you into the, whether you're listening to this on the Frontline YouTube channel or on Flow Hockey, this is the Average Joe's Game Day broadcast. I'm Ben Sargent alongside with Ben Long. And Ben, what have we seen so far through 40 minutes? What are you expecting in this last 20?
Not exactly sure what I'm expecting here in the last 20, but I know one thing for sure is if Powassan can keep their discipline under wraps, they have a good chance at this game. If they keep giving Thunderbirds power play chances, I think they're going to be in tight.
It has been a dramatic game so far. The Soo Thunderbirds 1 for 4 on the power play. They do have 5 seconds left on this. The last penalty, the last penalty that the Voodoos have 5 seconds left on the power play to Grayson Abraham, who went off for tripping. So unless they can score an incredibly quick goal, they will be 0 for 1 on the day. But they had their opportunities to score at least. And if there's one word to describe this, probably it's pretty dramatic second period.
There was a lot that happened in there, including all 3 goals that we've had up to this point. So I'm excited to see if we can keep some offense going into this period too.
Voodoos had a lot of momentum at the end of that period after Caden Dubroy was able to slam in the loose puck to make it 2-1. Now here's an opportunity right in front as the third period just gets underway. McCarthy almost had a great chance of making this 2-2. And now Turner, his shot that goes out in front is just sent aside by Bourret. And back come the Thunderbirds the other way. They're trying to break out on transition as it's brought up for Legler trying to get it. He touches it with no high stick as it's touched by Duracolo. And back comes Turner the other way for the Voodoos. Turner trying to swim around his man, Dundas, but he's not able to. And now the breakout pass for Legler is broken up by a nice stick by Michael McLean. Voodoos have it in their own zone. Sent back to Carson Ricci. Ricci sends it up looking for Reese Smetham, but the pass is not able to find its target. It goes all the way down to the Thunderbirds' zone for an icing exactly 1 minute into this third period.
It's not very often we see whistles go exactly on the 0-0 second.
No.
But it's just interesting to see.
One of the things the Voodoos have done are outshoot the Soo Thunderbirds. For any Rush fans out there, it's the shots are 21-12 in favor of the Powassan Voodoos. Just wanted to slip that one in there. As now an opportunity for the Voodoos, but not able to corral it is Carson Ricci, but he is going after his own rebound or his own chance in the offensive zone of the Thunderbirds. Now it's stolen, and here's an opportunity. There's a shot from Reese Smetham, and it's stopped nicely by Bourret. Ricci with it in the corner. Here's Cameron Lemke. It's brought back the other way by the Thunderbirds. Beaupre now an opportunity. Great stick from Reese Smetham as he comes back in the back check to take away that scoring opportunity. Ryan Patrick in it on the side. He's fighting along the puck with Zachary Isaacson of the Thunderbirds, but it's brought out by Lake, and the Thunderbirds now have it at their own zone. In the Voodoo zone. From the point, Lake's shot goes wide. And the puck is now in the corner again. Both teams fighting for possession. It's not going to come loose for Reese Smetham, but he's been out there for over a minute now, and he's just going to go off for a change. And the Voodoos get some fresh legs on the ice, but there's a breakout pass intended for Isaacson, but a good defensive play by Jaden Sturge. And now the pass intended up for Zach Turner does not find its man, and Turner ends up getting caught up with Captain Colby Fellinger. Nothing comes of that, but it is an icing call against the Voodoos.
We have seen a couple nice-looking breaks going either way, but none have materialized to too much. We've had couple nice shots on Bure. He made a really nice, made him look easy, but a nice blocker save.
The puck is won by the Voodoos off that faceoff in their own zone. There's Tucker Shields sending it in on the right side of center ice, so no icing, and it's saved on the other corner, and now that was Mason Rotundo getting into it with Liam Watson on the side boards. The play resumes, and the puck comes around for Zach Turner. But Turner's not able to get possession. Now Turner has it. He gets it over to McCarthy. McCarthy behind the net. His pass out in front intended for Jaden Sturge. Does not find its intended target, and Mason Rotundo comes back to pick it up. He sends it over to Tucker Shields. Shields able to gain the zone, but he kind of slips, and he's only able to get the puck deeper into the Thunderbird zone, and back come the Sioux, and now Shields has it. He's got a man with him. Tucker Shields comes in. His shot is stopped by by Colton Bure, and a great opportunity for Tucker Shields, his best opportunity of the game, as he did have Caden Dubroy with him as well, who was the goal scorer for the Voodoos. Now a shot from the point. Goes off a stick, and it's easily picked up, and back come the Thunderbirds. They almost had a breakaway opportunity, but it was picked up nicely by Smith. Fellinger able to knock that one back in his own zone, and it's sent back into the Voodoo zone. Smith picks it up. Reed Smith, the battalion prospect, he's had a little bit of chance in the preseason, and now it's covered by DeRoccolo. So let's quickly take a look at our players to watch so far. If we look at who we had picked up originally, it was Gallivan for the Thunderbirds and Reese Smetham for the Voodoos.
Correct. Smetham has had a solid game out there. He's had a bunch of really good chances, but nothing's really found its way to where he wants it to go. And plays back underway, so we'll address the rest later.
As you said, we're back underway here as Trushin, one of the goal scorers for the Thunderbirds, has it. He's trying to get it back to Dundas, but he's going to take it himself. And he goes all the way. Lemke's got a stick on him, but he's able to keep the puck. Trushin has it. His pass intended for Liam Watson is deflected. And the Thunderbirds continue to have possession. Jacob Smith had it. He lost it. Smith, the other goal scorer for the Thunderbirds. He was the first one on the power play back at the 14-second mark of the first period. And now here's a breakaway for Reese Smetham. He's been all over the puck. Still looking for a goal, though, as Smetham dumps it down to Ryan Patrick. That's been a great line so far. Lemke, Patrick, and Smetham, but Smetham goes off for a change. Picked up in the own zone by Parker McClelland. McClelland trying to get it out, and Zach Turner now dumps it into the Thunderbird zone, and he's going to chase after his own rebound, but he had no help from anyone else. And now again, a long pass is going to go down for icing, as that has been something the Thunderbirds have keep trying to work, but it quite hasn't. So now let's quickly take a look at on the other side of our players to watch. On the other side with Gallivan.
This Declan Gallivan, I haven't particularly noticed him out on the ice this game.
No, neither have I.
I don't know if he's actually playing.
Well, that's not a good thing to know, but yeah, I haven't noticed him out on the ice either. But if you look at somebody else, you look at a guy, one guy who has looked very good is that power play unit has been Jacob Smith, who's been all over, had a couple of opportunities. Here's Turner. Turner left for what lost the puck, and up comes Beaupre. He's another guy who you could also plug in there. His shot goes off the side of the net, and it's picked up by Isaacson. Beaupre sends it back to the point. Dundas has it. Dundas trying to get it in. He's out there defensively with Andrew Thompson, and Thompson goes back to play it, but it's going to be an icing this time against the Voodoos. This has been a lot of icing so far in this game.
A lot more than normal, and I think it comes down to trying to make those breakout extension passes, and they just find their way not to the proper sticks and down the ice.
14:36 to go in this hockey game. It's 2-1 Sioux. As they set up for the face-off there, it's won by the Thunderbirds, sent back to Dundas at the point. Dundas, his pass over to back behind the net. That was Alex Remenda who had an opportunity, and now it slips by Liam Watson, goes all the way down into the Thunderbird zone. No icing as it was off of a Sioux player. And now Liam Watson brings it up. Gets it over, and the Thunderbirds still trying to come in, and they're able to break through the zone and retain possession. Back to Watson. Watson sends it over there for Stokes. His shot is stopped. Fellinger, the captain, now with it. He sends it all the way around for Abraham. Stokes back to the point for Watson. Watson dump into the corners, picked up by the Voodoos, and now they're trying to get it out. And now losing his glove there is Mason Rotundo. And he lost his stick, his glove. And now the Voodoos trying to bring it back the other way, but it's stolen in the neutral zone. And now blowing a tire is Evan Roach. Back come the Voodoos. Opportunity there from Nick Beattie, but he can't control the puck. And back the other way is Abraham for the Thunderbirds. He loses it, and back come the other way come the Voodoos. It's Dubroy. Dubroy, the goal scorer. His shot is stopped. A rebound shot also stopped. Puck comes loose in front of the slot. And it was Colton Bourret who had no idea where it was, but there was no green jersey there to pick it up. And now it's Matthew McMillan. He brings it up to Smith. Smith with a burst of speed to get around Dundas. Smith in front, and it almost came right out for McMillan, but it was a little too hot for McMillan to handle. Smith fighting for it. Now back is Case. Case, his shot is stopped, and the puck bounces into the corner, into a bunch of bodies. And Smith was not able to pick it up on the rebound, and now it was almost McLean who was able to keep it in, but now Hall brings it up the other way for the Thunderbirds. Hall just dumps it in. It's going to be DeRoccolo who plays it behind the net, and McLean now has it and tries to slow things down a little bit. What a glorious opportunity for the Voodoos to tie things up. As McLean leaves it to go off for a change for Carson Ricci. Ricci's still holding it behind his own net. He's got Ryan Patrick on one side. On the other side, McClellan. He gives it to McClellan, and now McClellan takes it behind his own net. And the Voodoos are looking to try to figure out their shape. And now there's a big pass out in front. Opportunity for Reese Smetham as that goes all the way to the end boards. He stops icing, and now it's blown down by the official.
The net was knocked off.
And the net was knocked off, as you mentioned. But what an interesting pass there from McClellan, and Reese Smetham almost had a great opportunity to score.
And that's a play that the battalion did a lot last year in the Memorial Gardens, is throw it off the end boards and pick up the rebound. And that was all the way down the ice this time, and it was very close to coming through for them.
You could tell something was happening as they held it behind their net. It went between three different Voodoo players before finally McClellan trying to lull the Thunderbirds perhaps into a false sense of security. The puck is now in the Thunderbirds zone. That was almost picked off by Patrick. Now here's a shot from Reese. The puck comes out into the high slot, but there was no Voodoo player there to put it home. Here's Patrick. His shot right into the body. The puck is loose in front, and again, no one is there to get that rebound opportunity. Back come the other way are the Thunderbirds as it's just dumped in, and they go off for a change, so the Voodoos control it in their own zone behind the net. As that's Carson Ricci with it. And we're back to this again with Carson Ricci holding it behind his own net. Ricci looking for some help, not sure where he wants to go yet. He's got men on both sides, and he decides to go up for Zach Turner. That top line of Turner, McCarthy, and Shields out now. Shields, a glorious opportunity of scoring earlier on in this period. Puck comes loose behind the net. McCarthy now fighting for it in a scrum with Turner and a handful of Thunderbolt players. As the clearing attempt is not good, Beaupre has it in his own zone. And now Sioux trying to get it out. They get it into the neutral zone, and now Shields puts in a pretty big hit there on Isaacson. Puck comes out, though, and Roach has it, and his shot from the point almost finds its way home, but DeRoccolo just got a pad on it, and it ended up going wide. The Voodoo's not able to get the puck out, and now it was Case looking for a penalty on that last play, that was Shields. And now Shields, a little bank pass, comes out, and here's an opportunity for the Voodoos. Fights in front, and he just misses. What an opportunity from Caden Dubroy for his second of the game, but he can't finish it off as the puck slipped off his stick. He had everyone beat, including the goaltender Colton Bure, but he wasn't able to get that last hit to put it in the back of the net as we reach the halfway mark of this period. Getting into our halfway break pretty soon as Matthew McLean brings it in. 3 points in his last game. McLean brings it out in front. Another chance of redemption perhaps for DeBroy, but he can't get his stick on it properly. Voodoos controlling their own zone. McLean can't handle that pass, and it's going to be a good opportunity here for the Thunderbirds as Stokes has it. That shot from Watson pretty weak as it goes into the corner, but now Watson has it on his own net, trying to do a little wraparound, but he's not able to get control. And he sends it down around the net for Remenda. Abraham with it. He sends it to the point. And Remenda with it at the point for the Thunderbirds. There's a shot, and that goes wide. McMillan picks it up. Voodoo's now just trying to get the puck out of their own zone, and now they will. There's Alexander Case trying to break out Owen Smetham. His brother's had one heck of a game, but Smetham's had his opportunity. Owen has had his opportunities as well. Abraham picks it up at the Voodoos blue line. Puck now behind the Voodoos net. And it's Reese getting it out for Beatty. Beatty trying to set something up, but his pass gets broken up in the neutral zone. Abraham now in the offensive zone. Abraham a chance. He comes in. His shot doesn't get on target. A couple of Sioux players there trying to put it home, but they couldn't find, the puck could not find the back of the net. That would have been a real dagger in this game, though, if the Sioux were able to get another one here with 8 minutes to go. Sioux has possession in the Voodoos zone as they send it around the back of the net. Sturge picks it up. He's trying to clear it, but his clearing attempt's no good. Dundas fighting with it with Reese Smetham. It's picked up there by McClellan. Now they break it out, and here's a break opportunity for the Voodoos as Patrick, his pass in front, nobody was there as Smetham was just coming in off the break. DeGagné around the other way. DeGagné's chance, his shot goes off Sturge's foot, and now the break comes back the other way for the Voodoos. Patrick, his pass over to Reese Smetham, but it wasn't strong enough, and now Smetham fighting with a couple of Thunderbird players. Along with Lemke and Sturge, the puck ends up coming loose, and it's picked up in their own zone by the Sioux. Here's DeGagné, his pass fresh off the bench, trying to hit his man, Easton Hall, as it's dumped in, and Fellinger was able to knock it down, and now Fellinger has it behind his own net. His pass to Hall, as Hall just dumps it in to negate the icing. Back come the Voodoos, as Dubroy trying to make a nice move, but he's denied. McLean has it in his own neutral zone. DeBroy brings it across into the offensive zone. He chips and chases it. DeBroy with it in the corner. He's fighting with it. And now the puck comes around to the opposite corner. And now there's a whole bunch of players fighting for possession, and it comes out for the Sioux, and the Sioux break out the other way. It just dumped in on the wrong side of center ice, so that's going to be an icing call with 6:41 to go in this game. And we'll see if, I do not believe we'll go to our mid-period break since that was an icing call, but
I thought they were calling that puck went out instead of icing, but apparently not.
Either way, what a good segment of play as well. Another 5-6 minute segment as
that
a lot of
Roy chance in there was probably the best chance Powassan's had in a while.
And if Powassan doesn't find a win, and here's a shot into traffic, if they don't end up tying this game, I think that's going to go down as the what-if moment of this hockey game, as it really could have changed the pace. But it has been a pretty even game, but either way, the Soo Thunderbirds still lead 2-1 with just over 6 minutes to go in this game. Again, both teams coming in with the game and each winning one game of the two that they faced against each other, this being the third, with the Voodoos losing a heartbreaker at the showcase to these Thunderbird team. They were up 4-2 in the third, ended up losing 5-4. Puck gets dumped all the way down for another icing call against the Sioux, so the Voodoos will get a chance with 6 minutes to go. and we still haven't had our mid-period break, so this is going to be almost like a end of the period break at this point.
Yeah, we get quite a bunch of those in this league with all the exceptions they have for the breaks that we've had them get down to the last 2-3 minutes and pulling our mid-period break then.
Might turn into almost a timeout, a free timeout for Peter Goulet and co if the score stands as we get later into this. Again, you go back to a couple of opportunities the Voodoos have had, and that Dubois one probably hurts the most right now, but Zach Turner denied in the second period from Colton Bourret, who's been absolutely phenomenal. 27 saves so far on 28 shots. Girocolo, on the other hand, 11 saves only, 13 shots faced. Thunderbirds hold possession in the Voodoo zone. Fellinger, his pass was picked by Sturge as it was not good, and Lemke comes up the other way. He's got men with him. Lemke decides to shoot, but it goes wide as he felt, and now he goes hard into the boards alongside Thompson. Puck comes out to the blue line. There's Case with a shot through traffic, but it goes wide. Puck behind the net, controlled by the Voodoos. Patrick with it in the Sioux zone. Case trying to get over to Lemke. Over to Patrick at the side of the net. His pass to go in front was off a Sioux stick. And Lemke could not pinch at that point, or else it would have been a clear break for Daniel Beaupre. Here's Dundas, steals that in the neutral zone. Abraham brings it in, and he's knocked off the puck by Case. Zach Turner now with it. He tries to break out Darby McCarthy. However, McCarthy, the pass was kind of into his body, and the puck's back in the Voodoo zone. Now it's flipped all the way out. It will not go for icing as Liam Watson picks it up in the Sioux zone. Watson, he's being harassed by Zach Turner. A good offensive press there from the Voodoos. Causes a little bit of a couple of mistakes from the Thunderbirds, but they still controls the puck in their own zone. And now they try to go up the neutral zone for Abraham, but his pass, he's just able to dump it into the Voodoo zone with 4 minutes to go. And the Voodoos try to break out again. Here's a cross-ice pass looking for Turner off the stick of Tucker Shields, but it is intercepted in the neutral zone. Abraham with it in the Voodoo zone. He's looking for any help. His pass intended for Trushin was not good. And now, again, the Voodoos trying to do something, but really good neutral zone defense here from the Thunderbirds, not letting them break out. Tucker Shields has it in his own zone as he gets by as McLean has it. McLean fighting with a couple of Thunderbird players as Thunderbirds now control. They get it to the point for Dundas. The Thunderbirds just trying to kill time now, if anything, and stop the scoring chances from the Voodoos. Again, peppering the net with 28 shots. Only one goal, however, to show for it. As that's going to be offside as Legler plays the puck on the wrong side. And now finally we get our mid-period break. You are watching the Average Joe's Frontline Game Day broadcast.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
So just a handful of minutes left in this game, under 4 minutes to go, 28-13 the shots. And Ben, as we get to the very end of this game, what do the Voodoos need to do to try to tie things up?
I think they need more pressure at the net. They've gotten a lot of good chances. Well, all their shots where they're getting some rebounds, they have some bodies there. The puck's not bouncing onto the right guy's stick, and it's not happening for them so far. But there's still 3 minutes left, and in a hockey game, 3 minutes a lot can happen.
We'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on Girocolo to see when he goes to the bench for the extra attacker. But you look at two big moments, I think, in this game that stopped the Voodoos from at least tying. Zach Turner getting robbed by Colton Bourret, but also on the other side was that probably the bigger one was the Dubois opportunity where he just couldn't get that last hit to put the puck in the back of the net.
Yeah, he was on a complete breakaway there. He had the goalie beat, and that was a beautiful effort by Dubois to get to that chance as well. So it's just really unfortunate for him that he wasn't able to get it home. And as we've talked all day, he's looked great all year. Just hasn't had the pucks go his way, and that's just another example of that. But all in time, he'll start going his way, I'm sure.
Face-off won by the Voodoos. They're trying to get guys in fast. They go long. They're able to stop the icing. Reese Smetham picks it up in the corner. He tries to shovel it into the slot, but it's blocked. Back come the Sioux. But a good play from Patrick right at the blue line, but he's not able to hold it in. Case pinching in to try to stop the momentum. 2:50 to go in this game. 2-1 for the Soo Thunderbirds. Voodoos looking to pull out at least a point if they can make a big play. Now a nice play from McLean. Again, he's coming off his first 3 points of the season. Now the puck's loose in the high slot, but it's picked up by the Thunderbirds, and back come the Sioux the other way. Beaupre. He just chips and chases by Lemke. Lemke's able to stay on it and keep the puck, and now Lemke's going to have it behind his own net, but he's being chased. A good, strong play to block Lake off, and now Reese Smetham, maybe a little bit lucky that he didn't get an interference call on Lake as he put the body on him, and now the Voodoos looking for a change. Just over 2 minutes now to go. Again, they're looking to set something up in the offensive zone so they can get the extra attacker on. So we'll have to keep an eye on DeRoccolo in net here. Trying to get a good pass there to Jaden Sturge, the defenseman who's playing up high. Sturge able to get it in deep, and now they're fighting for it at the corner. Still fighting for it, and the puck comes loose. That's Darby McCarthy in the corner with Tucker Shields. Shields with it. Trying to get it free for Zach Turner, but he's not able to. And now it comes back, come the Sioux, but Jaden Sturge does a good job to back check and get there. And Shields has it in front of his own bench. Back for Sturge, 1:30 to go. The pass looking for Turner goes off a stick of the Thunderbirds player. And now the Sioux have possession in their own zone. They're just passing now, trying to kill as much time as possible. Minute 15 now to go. The pass that was intended for a Voodoos player finds nobody, and now McCarthy and Sturge are fighting for it alongside a handful of Sioux players. Now down to the final minute. Again, the Voodoos find themselves down 1 goal, but they haven't been able to get any good chances here in the last 2 minutes. Sturge trying to make a play. He's got Smetham out there. Sturge brings it all the way up. There goes DeRoccolo. They get the extra attacker on. The puck comes all the way down. This should be an icing call, and it will be. So with 44.7 to go, there's going to be an offensive zone draw for the Voodoos with the extra attacker on the ice, and this is now going to be the moment of the game.
I'm sure that we're going to see a timeout in the next 3 or 4 seconds here.
You would think so. I believe
the Thunderbirds got held, a couple of guys held on the ice.
There they call the timeout there, so in your infinite wisdom, you're correct. Makes sense, too, especially if they want to make sure they get the right men on the ice. If they want to get that top line of Shields, and I think Shields just comes on the ice now, so it looks like Patrick, Shields, McMillan, I think that's McLean's out there. I want to say somebody else is out there as well. Hopefully somebody else is out there as well.
There's got to be at least a couple other guys.
So what do they have to do here? You got to win the face-off, but how do you think the Voodoos, do they think they go for a quick goal, or do you think they spend some time trying to set something up?
I think they're going to try and control a little bit unless they have a good shot, right? With 45 seconds left in the game, if you have a good chance, you take the shot. But if you don't have a clear shot, they're definitely not putting one into the shin pads of the other team to give them a breakaway on an empty net.
Well, Colton Bure has, we've said this before, especially in that first period, has done an absolutely great job with his positioning. And so it's going to be all about trying to get him moving east to west. We'll see if the Voodoos are able to do it. We'll see who's going to take the faceoff. So McLean, Reese Smetham, Ryan Patrick, McMillan, Shields, and Lemke are out there right now. It's going to be Ryan Patrick taking the faceoff with McLean. It looks like Shields behind him. He's got Lemke behind him as well, so they're going to try to win this back to Shields, I believe. Oh, and now Lemke's going to go over to the near side. They're taking this on the far side of the Sioux bench, and it's won by the Thunderbirds, but the Voodoos kind of have possession. They're fighting for it behind the net. The puck is now still behind the net. It comes loose, and McLean has it. McLean brings it back behind the net, and they're still fighting for it. 30 seconds to go. It gets sent to Tucker Shields at the point. He's got Lemke with him at the point as well. Shields, and now a Thunderbird player's on the ice. The puck's loose. A scramble in front, and they're saying it's in the net, but it's Colton Bure who's holding it up, saying he has it in his glove. So I'm going to say this doesn't count.
No, the ref was saying right off the bat, no goal. But the ref was saying right there.
The Voodoo players are saying it's a goal.
They were celebrating, and there was some gloved fists back and forth as well. So I'm not sure if we're going to see penalties here. Nothing got too far out of hand. There's not a fight or anything, but there was definitely some pushing back and forth. There was a couple of Voodoos players celebrating, but the puck is coming outside for the face-off.
So, yeah, not too sure why the face-off's going outside of the dot. But there's 18 seconds to go. Well, 19 seconds to go, 18.8 seconds to go. So either way, it's going to be an offensive zone draw, but the Voodoos need something right away. As it's brought into the zone, McLean trying to get it into the zone, and it's picked up by the Thunderbirds. They send it all the way down, and it's going to be an icing call with 5.3 seconds to go. So if there's going to be a miracle to tie it, it's going to have to happen in the next 5 seconds of play, which means it's going to have to be a very quick
It's going to have
face
to
off.
be a shot off the draw.
And it's going to be Lemke taking the face-off. He's got Shields. Shields looks like he's ready to shoot it. All the Voodoo players setting up in front of the slot, looking for a rebound. And the most pivotal face-off here is now going to be delayed slightly, as it's Isaacson versus Lemke. They now change it from 5.3 to 5 seconds on the clock. So the referee going over to make sure, and now it's back to 5.3. So we get ready. The biggest face-off of the game right here, Isaacson versus Lemke. 5.3 to go. Voodoo's down one. It's won by Lemke. Puck goes right in front, and the puck squirts out there to Bourret, who just covers it up, so they'll do it again, but this time from the other side with 3.5 seconds to go. Or they might be saying it's on the same side.
And Patrick was quick through that line and took a dive and kind of slid right into Bourret.
And the faceoff goes down. Lemke kind of wins it, but it doesn't matter as it goes out into the neutral zone, and that's the game. As the Soo Thunderbirds hold on, and now there's a fight afterwards with McLean and Isaacson. Fellinger, Abraham also in there.
Yeah, now Isaacson's in with Patrick.
So temper's starting to flare. Lots of chirps happening from both sides. McMillan getting into it. But either way, it's the Thunderbirds picking up the 2-1 victory. They now have the 2-1 season series advantage for whatever that means. But Ben, what did we see in this game? If you were going to kind of describe this game in about a sentence, what would you say?
Colton Bourret really stole this one.
Yeah.
For the Thunderbirds. The shots ended up being 29-13. And they had some great chances on him, and he really just stole this game.
Well, again, if we take a quick look at the scoring summary, it was Jacob Smith who opened things up with the 14 seconds into the second period to make it 1-0. Then Jackson Trushin at the 13:53 mark of the second period made it 2-0, and then Caden Dubroy brings it back about just about 40 seconds later to make it a 2-1 game. But at the end of the day, the Voodoos came close, but they weren't able to quite get there. So before we go, let's take a quick look at our players to watch.
So our players to watch, Gallivan wasn't playing.
So I think we should probably let's go with Jacob Smith.
Jacob Smith. Fantastic goal for him. He looked good out there. I don't know if there's so much to say. Like he had a solid game. He saw a couple good back checks out of him, some good offensive plays.
He did pick up two goals as well. As we get the 3 stars here, it'll be Caden Dubrow getting the 3rd star. Jackson Truchon getting the 2nd star, and
Colton Bourret.
Colton Bourret getting the 1st star for his 28 save performance on 29 shots. So for everybody,
Tonight's 3 stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
Well, as we were able to see the 3 stars there, so again, the final here from the Powassan Sportsplex, it was 2-1 in favor of the Soo Thunderbirds. Again, all of these games have been super tight, and especially when you consider the fact that both teams coming off huge goal scoring, 8 and 9 goals respectfully for the last one. Not a lot of goals scored in this one, but for Ben Long, for Courtney Kenny, who's doing our socials here, I'm Ben Sargent.
The player of the game.
Player of the game. The player of the game, yep.
I think we have to go with Caden Dubroy for that.
Yes.
He looked great out there. He got one. He had a couple other really beautiful plays, a couple nice quick back checks for a coverage. So I think we got to say he's the player of the game. Courtney Kenny should have an interview with him on our social medias in the upcoming minutes.
Good call. Thank you for that. So I don't think I missed anything. Did I forget anything else?
I think we got everything
Mr.
else.
Producer, we got everything else?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So I'm Ben Sargent saying thank you so much for listening. You've been watching the Average Joe's Game Day broadcast on the Frontline YouTube and on Flow Hockey.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.